Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Zenobia Fields. I'm the Director of Economic Development with the City of Plainfield. Thank you for joining us once again for a celebration of home ownership as well as building wealth for the Plainfield residents. So this is actually a special street because I was just reminded this morning that I actually grew up here and I used to play kickball on the street. So to see that through the MAP administration that we're actually able to build affordable homes for sale, and to have someone that I went to elementary school with ask us, well, what can we do to acquire these homes? These homes are possible because we have a partnership with our developers. Our developers that were interested and presented a proposal to look at some of the city-owned lots that may have been undersized. The city was able to look at those lots and say, okay, we can look at the zoning, we can look at the bulk requirements, and make it conducive to not only a small lot, a small home. We're talking about a home that's going to be over 2,200 square feet. That's larger than many of the homes you see surrounding us right now. And with this small home, it's not jammed into the space. Even though it looks small right now, we're going to do some pruning of the trees and going back into the yard, but you still have a 20-foot front yard. You still have a significant backyard and a side yard. And you not only that, you have a 4-bedroom house and 2.5 baths that are here. In this private lot, you have an opportunity for home ownership where you're going to start out with equity in the home. We were able to partner with TD Plus partners, specifically Patrick Turbord, and Gonsosa Construction with Ricardo Sosa. Because of this partnership, not only were we able to build new homes for home ownerships that are at an affordable price, where we're seeing the median values for homes right now in Plainfield, they're at $590,000. These homes are going to be priced between $500 and $650. And not only that, what makes it more affordable is we're going to be offering a tax abatement, and the mayor's going to explain more about that. Then we're also going to be offering a down payment assistance fund. That down payment assistance fund for each Plainfield residents, to be specific, because this is about home ownership for Plainfield residents, you're going to be able to apply for a $30,000 down payment assistance. So home ownership is possible. You are able to build wealth in Plainfield. With that, allow me to introduce the man who is bringing home ownership and building wealth to the city of Plainfield, the Honorable Adrian O'Mac.
Hey! Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
And you've heard this message time and time again, but it's worth repeating. And what's worth repeating is the commitment that we have to home ownership in Plainfield. Affordable home ownership. And I want to thank Gonsosa Construction and TD Plus Partners for having the confidence and for placing the trust in Plainfield, knowing that they will get a level of cooperation from the administration and the governing body that will make it possible for these homes to be built. And I wish we can find more open spaces like these where we can build more affordable homes for the people that live here in Plainfield. Because home ownership is key. The housing shortage or the housing crisis is extremely challenging for municipalities all across the state, and Plainfield is no exception. So we have to find creative ways. We have to find willing partners who will come together and work with us to make home ownership affordable. And so we are very pleased that we were able to identify Gonsosa Construction and TD Plus Partners to work with us and with the support of the governing body, making this kind of a development possible. And there will be more like this. And as you know, we have 4 other stops to make on this road to home ownership in every part of the city. And so as we move forward, we're going to try to identify spaces that can be converted into decent, quality, affordable homes for our residents. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see the finished product and be able to come back for a ribbon cutting at all of these places where we will see new homes being built in the city for the benefit of our residents. And so I look forward to the next stop and the next and the next and the next. Thank you and God bless.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I really want to thank my partner, Ricardo Sosa. I think it's wonderful that we're embarked on this journey where, for us as a combined joint venture, we're focused on building single-family homes all the way up to large commercial projects. And I think it's good to know that Ricardo's probably, at this point, probably built over 100 single-family homes, and I'm probably underestimating that. And is currently building some in Watchung and different areas. But none of this is really possible without leadership. We're developers in different municipalities, and I have to tell you that what has happened in the city of Plainfield over the last 12 plus years is truly remarkable, and I think sometimes it probably goes unnoticed because it's probably looked really easy in many ways. But it's very hard to take a city from having there was an organization called Power in Plainfield, which really, I think it stood for Plainfield Organized for West End Revitalization, and they had a 44 block strategy because just about every single one of those blocks had at least 2 to 3 homes that were abandoned or boarded up. They're not around anymore. I think Henry was one of the guys there, and he died a while ago. I lived in Plainfield, and I always saw it as this diamond in the rough. There's some people in there who knows when I used to show up to city council meetings and complain, and they'll go nameless. But the point is, it's really, really good. And why did I feel like it was a diamond in the rough? As a black man living in Plainfield with a black family, it was always disheartening to me that wherever you had a high concentration of black and brown people, you tend to have the most neglect, the most under-resourcement. And I think when, and that was a condition in Plainfield. It was a place, yes, where you had nice homes, but you also had a whole lot of boarded up conditions, and you had the issues that you have from the financial industry under-resourcing those communities. When Adrian Mapp took office in 2016 or 2015, it really changed because he put in place a real business-focused process that allowed somebody to go through the planning board really quickly. And you can give him credit for focusing on development and making development happen. But I think the bigger story is probably the significant rise in home values that has directly affected black and brown people living, primarily black and brown people living in this city, who've seen their home values increase 2.5 times. And that's truly remarkable because it truly helps to address the racial wealth gap, right? The average white family in the state of New Jersey has a net worth of $622,000. The average black person in the state of New Jersey has a net worth of $20,000. That's a serious, serious issue. And the way you address it is by creating wealth opportunities. And no one has actually done that better than Adrian Mapp in the city of Plainfield. No one, anywhere else in the state, and probably maybe anywhere in the country, quite frankly. And you could be a little rough around the edges. I think when you're an administrator and you're serious about doing the work, you're not always cuddly. But clearly this is a time when you need leadership. And there's a difference between people being politicians and people being leaders. And we need real leadership throughout this country, especially in New Jersey and especially in Plainfield. So we're happy to partner with the city. We could not do what we're doing without a true partnership that has resulted in these homes being slated for sale at about $150,000, $200,000 less than what they would have cost. So this is a true public-private partnership. And I want to commend Zenobia, the rest of the administration, and the mayor for doing an amazing job in revitalizing a city that I love. I truly love this place. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to keep it short and sweet because, again, we got 4 others to get to today. So first, let's thank the people that helped set this up today. Definitely thank you to DPW for always making sure we have shades and set up. Thank you to IT for the microphone and lowering it so it's at my height. And also communications and media for always getting the word out. So we are going to be able to break ground on this. So of course, the development team, invite whoever you want up. I'm also going to ask to be joined by our other team members, our business administrator, Abby Levinson, and our director of solid waste and sewer, John Luis. And also we have joining us our chief of staff and director of IT and communications, Jazz Clayton Hunt. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Zenobia Fields. I'm the Director of Economic Development for the City of Plainfield. Welcome to another celebration of home ownership and building wealth for Plainfield residents. Today we are cutting our doing the groundbreaking for our 4th home for home ownership. What we are looking to do here, and we had an opportunity to do this because we partnered with developers that were willing to look at some of the lots that were city owned that, according to our conventional zoning standards, were undersized. So the cities work with these developers to look at these lots and to do a redevelopment plan that was targeted towards home ownership for small lots. And it wasn't about using a small lot and creating a small home. This home today that we're going to be doing the groundbreaking for is actually going to be over 2,200 square feet. The front yard is going to line up with the rest of these established homes right here. So you're going to have a 20-foot front yard. And in the backyard, you're going to have over 26 feet of backyard space. You're also going to have a significant side yard. And this home itself is going to be 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2.5 baths. Now, the opportunity to own this home, which the median home value in Plainfield is $590,000. Our homes that we're doing, these 7 homes that we're breaking ground for, it's going to range between $500,000 and $650,000. What that means is that the homeowner is going to start with equity. Not only are they going to start with equity in their home that's in the range of plus $100,000, they're also going to have an opportunity to purchase this home with a down payment assistance fund. Each of these homes for Plainfield residents, you're going to be able to apply for a $30,000 down payment assistance fund. With that $30,000, that means that you're essentially putting 5% down on your home. And not only that, you're also going to be able to start with a tax abatement that's going to go out for 10 years. So you're going to know exactly what your taxes are, and they're going to be about half of what conventional taxes are. So this is going to start the foundation for home ownership. Now, we're able to do this because we've partnered with developers that are not only interested in developing market rate and affordable housing, but being creative with how we work with the city. So we're very thankful to TD Plus Partners, particularly Patrick Turboy, TD Plus Partners. Also, we're very thankful to Ricardo of Gonsosa Construction. Just letting the truck pass by. So one of the things that you're going to see from Ricardo is that some of these homes, as you're driving down over on South 2nd Street, he's already established building modern, spacious, new family homes. He has a multifamily that's 4 condo units down here. He's built single family homes. He's built two-family homes. He has an established track record of making beautiful homes for the city of Plainfield. So we are very thankful for the partnership and to be able to advance home ownership and building wealth for Plainfield residents. And this is all possible because of the vision of our mayor, the Honorable Adrian O'Mac.
Now we know that experience is our best teacher. And it was very easy for us to partner with Consosa Construction and TD Plus Partners, because they have the experience, they have the track record, they've proven what they are able to do. And so it was very easy for us to enter into these partnerships because of their track record and the confidence that we have in them, knowing that they will get the job done. Now, I think I heard Director Fields mention that this home is going to be a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom home. Now, where in Plainfield can you get a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath for the price that you're going to be paying for this home? And so it makes sense that we make these kinds of partnerships and investments. And it's never easy. I know the late JFK, when he was embarking on the possibility of going to the moon, he said, we do these things not because they're easy, but because they're hard. I mean, some people think running a government is easy. Some people think doing economic development is easy. Some people think transforming recreational spaces is easy. None of it is easy. It's hard, and it costs lots of money, and it takes time. It's not an overnight venture. It's not an overnight stay at a hotel where you go in and out in 24, 48 hours. This takes work. It takes months of planning. And so we are here at this juncture because of the confidence of Ricardo Sosa and Patrick Turbo, because they know that when they come to Plainfield to do business, they're going to find willing partners in the city administration. And they know they're going to find a planning board or a zoning board that will work with them to make sure that they get the approvals they need so that they can construct the projects that they want to build here in the city of Plainfield. And so that is why we are so excited. That is why these developments have been approved. Now, who in his or her right mind would vote against providing affordable home ownership to the residents that we serve, especially when we're going to give them $200,000 on day one of equity? Now that should be a no-brainer for any elected official, and it should have received the unanimous support of the governing body, but it did not. But we will not be deterred. We will keep moving forward, and we will keep building, because the people of Plainfield need decent, quality, affordable housing such as what will be in the back of me in a matter of months. And so we are so grateful to our partners that they are going to be working here in Plainfield and building more homes for people to live in. And so I appreciate Consosa Construction and TD Plus Partners for your confidence, your trust in the MAP administration. and we look forward to continuing working with you as you continue to improve Plainfield and provide decent quality homes for our residents. And with that, I give you Ricardo Sosa.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be part of this development project. I want to thank the city. I want to thank the city council and the administration. It's a blessing for me to be a blessing to others, to be able to provide home ownership, but not any home ownership, but luxury home ownership for first-time home buyer. It's a blessing to be part of that. We're very mission-driven, and we look forward to taking this project to the finish line. Thank you.
Okay, so we do this through a team effort. So I would like to thank some of the team from economic development. We have our economic development manager, Maximo Vasquez. Our urban enterprise zone coordinator, Jeanette Aparicio. Also members of the economic development team, Drew Dolman and Kina Ruiz. I think I've seen everyone. Definitely would like to thank the police department, the community police for having it, coordinating the day. We definitely appreciate you being here. DPW, you made sure we were in the shade. I appreciate that because it was hot. IT, the microphone, it was low. I got it. You want me to fun of it, but I got it. Appreciate that. Media and communications for getting the word out. Definitely always appreciate you. Some of the other members of our cabinet up here leading the media, IT, and our chief of staff, Jazz Clayton Hunt. Our business administrator, Abby Levinson. And our director of solid waste and sewer, John Luis. They are all going to be joining us for the groundbreaking, so I asked the developer team, please invite whoever else is going to be joining us.
3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Zenobia Fields. I'm Director of Economic Development for the City of Plainfield. Thank you for joining us. I believe this is our 5th one out of 7. We're so excited about that. The groundbreaking has begun. So we are here to break ground to celebrate home ownership and building wealth in the City of Plainfield. When we started this effort, partnering with our developers, mainly being TD Plus partners, Patrick Turboy, also partnering with Ricardo Sosa of Gonsosa Construction, we wanted to look at some of the city-owned lots that were undersized for single-family homes or two-family homes to make sure that we had an opportunity for home ownership at a more affordable price point. So when we looked at lots like these, we did a redevelopment plan that accommodated single-family homes and two-family homes that were roughly about half the size of what they usually have to be. That does not mean that the home itself has to be half the size. This lot that we're sitting on, this is the 1 2-family home that will be constructed. This home will be over almost 3,000 square feet. So what that means is that on the first floor, you're going to have a 3-bed, 2-bath home. Then on the second floor, you're going to have another 3-bed, 2-bath home. And being able to keep the price point at a reasonable mark. The median home value in Plainfield is $590,000, but we're able, partnering with TD Plus partners in Gonsosa, keep these homes at a value that's between $500,000 and $650,000. In the city of Plainfield, there's pretty much nowhere where you're going to get a 2-family home for $650,000. These are going to be modern, new constructed home. An example of what the home looks like is right over there. That's built by Gonsosa Construction. If you can see, these are going to be quality homes that are really going to change the fabric of Plainfield and offer an opportunity for home ownership. Not only are you going to get a two-family home that you have 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, but you're also going to have an opportunity for down payment assistance. Down payment assistance in the amount of $30,000 for Plainfield residents, because we are building home ownership opportunities for Plainfield residents. So in this home, in addition to having the square foot of the home itself, you have a 20-foot front yard and you have a 40-foot backyard, which is quite significant in this area. So we are happy today to celebrate not only home ownership, but building wealth in the city of Plainfield. And the man that's bringing you that vision of building wealth in the city of Plainfield for Plainfield residents, allow me to introduce the Honorable Adrian O'Mapp.
And building wealth is extremely important. Oftentimes we hear stories, we read about families that are living on the margins, families that are living in public housing for generations, and it appears to them that they may not have a way out without getting a hand up. And so the reason why we're doing these developments is because we want everyone to be able to afford a home of their own. And with this program, that is possible. It is possible for a person, it is possible for a parent and child, for siblings, to pool their resources and be able to own one of these homes without feeling the pressure. And I say that because home ownership in every city, every state of this nation is almost always based on dual incomes. You have spouses who are working and they're able to pool their resources together. They go through the credit check process, the vetting process, and they're able to afford a home by pooling their resources. Now, if we have siblings that are living in separate apartments, paying $1,800, $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom, it would make sense for those siblings to come together, for the parent and child to come together and pool those resources so that when you combine 2,000 and 2,000, you have $4,000. And if you look at interest rates, and you look at an interest rate of about 4%, these siblings or parent and child can own this home and have a mortgage with taxes and insurance of about $3,500. Now, if you look at the higher end of the spectrum, an interest rate of about 7%, that could be about $4,200, $4,500. But pooling that $2,000 on the part of each of these individuals, it would make sense to purchase one of these homes, because if you continue to pay rent, at the end of it, you have nothing to show for that rent that you're paying. But if you pool those resources, what you would get is an asset that will continue to appreciate. And you can't beat being able to move into a brand new home, and on day one, you start with equity of about $200,000. And as Zenobia said, we're making it even easier for our residents to be able to own these homes by providing them with not a loan of $30,000, but a grant of $30,000 that you don't have to repay. And we are also giving pilots that will run for 10 years, which means that you would know exactly how much your property taxes will be for that 10-year period. But there's one commitment that you have to make as you go into such a venture like this. You have to enter this knowing that it will be deed restricted and that you can't flip this after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years. You have to stay in these homes for at least 10 years. And then after 10 years, you could do whatever you want. If you want to sell that home after 10 years and take the equity out and send a child to school, a grandchild to college, that's up to you. But you will have that equity that you can hand down to the next generation. And that is why this makes sense. And that is why we do it. Because it is important for us to provide vehicles that will transport our residents to a place that they've never been. And that is to home ownership. So we are excited about continuing these developments in partnership with Consosa Construction and TD Plus Partners, and we are excited and will continue to move in this fashion, knowing that we are doing the right thing, providing quality homes to our residents that need those homes. And now we have with us our counselor from the 3rd Ward, Charles McCray, and he will have a few words before it is handed off to one of our development partners. Councilman McCray.
Well, good afternoon to everyone. Come on, this is exciting here. Good afternoon. You know, on behalf of President Steve Hockaday and all the councilors, we are excited about this, not only because it's a bright day outside, but this is a bright day for Plainfield when we start to build new homes for our residents to afford. Home ownership is one of the most important things or most important assets you'll ever have. So it's exciting that we as council, along with the mayor and along with SOSA and TD Partners, present opportunities for our residents to own homes and make a commitment and put roots right here in Plainfield so that we can continue to grow. Not only is this a home, but it's bringing beauty to the neighborhood. Plainfield is a beautiful city, a queen city. And when we start to build homes that puts another jewel in that crown, that makes us shine brighter. So with that, I just want to say thank you, and we are happy as a council to support these new home ownership programs.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, interesting fact, across the street from us at 664 West 4th is a home that Ricardo actually developed and constructed a couple years ago. So it's a good example of what we're talking about, building. And I think it's done a really good job of helping to revitalize the block. I spoke earlier about Henry. I really was talking about Bob Nelson. It turns out Bob Nelson actually lives 2 doors down. And Bob Nelson was a part of Power, which was an organization that was really interested in trying to revitalize the West End. And back to the whole conversation we've had about leadership, that was a group that started out in early 2000, and they really wanted to see the removal of the abandoned buildings, dilapidated buildings that really populated the West End. Every block for a 44 block area within the West End of Plainfield had at least 2 to 3 homes that were boarded up or dilapidated. And it was literally affecting the home values for all the great homeowners that lived on this block. And and it's a true testament to the leadership and competency of Mayor Mapp, that he came into office. When he came into office, you had those 44 blocks that were boarded up, dilapidated. You had extremely high crime in the city of Plainfield at the time. I lived here prior to him becoming mayor, and I was here when power was established. None of these things happen without leadership. So, Mayor, we want to commend you for creating the environment that made it possible for the revitalization of Plainfield as a city. It is something that shouldn't go unnoticed. I think Bob Nelson would be proud of you because he wanted to see something like this happen here. He would be proud of Ricardo for rehabbing the property and creating a new building across the street. So we're happy to be continuing the legacy or the works that were started by many people before. And sometimes you need the right instrument, the right person that can actually push it over the finish line. And that was Mayor Mapp. So thank you for your leadership and thank you for what you've done.
So we just want to thank a couple of members of the team. Definitely police, because this is a busy road. We appreciate you working with us and traveling with us the whole day to help us off. DPW, you got us a little bit of shade here. We know it's ready for the end of it. IT, the microphone was at the right height this time. Appreciated. And communications and media for always getting the word out. Also with the economic development team, Maximo Vasquez, the manager of economic development. Jeanette Aparicio, the urban enterprise zone coordinator. Also other members of economic development, Drew Doman, and also Kina Ruiz. We thank you for that. So joining us for the team for the groundbreaking, we have our business administrator, Abby Levinson. We have our director of solid waste and sewer, John Luis. And our Chief of Staff and Director of IT and Communications, Jazz Clayton Hunt. So what we would like to do now is invite the rest of the development team up to join us in the groundbreaking, and we got 2 more to go, so here we go.
3, 2, 1. All right.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our 6th groundbreaking celebrating home ownership and building wealth for Plainfield residents. I'm Zenobia Fields. I'm the Director of Economic Development for the City of Plainfield. For a while, this lot has been vacant. We were met with the opportunity through the partnership of our developers to look at some of our lots that the city owns that may be underutilized, that has an opportunity where we could advance home ownership. So this lot, even though it's a fairly large lot, it is actually undersized according to our conventional zoning, looking for a single family home. So we were able, through redevelopment, to look at the zoning requirements, to look at the bulk standard requirements for building a home, and create a set of standards or codes that were conducive to using these smaller lots. Now, that doesn't mean that the smaller lots create smaller homes. The home that you see behind us today, that'll be up in a matter of a few months, this home is going to be a total of 2,200 plus square feet. So what that means is that there's an opportunity to own a single family home that has 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, has a front yard of 20 feet, has a backyard of at least 10 feet in the rear, and you get to build on your equity. How we get to build on our equity and build some assets for the community is that we were able to partner with 2 of our development partners, one being TD Plus Partners, Patrick Turborg, and also Ricardo Sosa of Gonsosa Construction. Both of these are development partners that have an established track record in Plainfield of building quality housing, building quality affordable housing, building single-family homes, building two-family, four-family homes. One of Ricardo Sosa's homes are actually on this street that you can see at 664 West 4th Street. So we're partnering with someone that knows how to not only build an affordable home, but build a new construction luxury home that would be for sale. These homes are going to be for sale between $500,000 and $650,000. Now, that is affordable given the median home value in Plainfield is $590,000 for a single family home. Most of those homes don't come up to 2,200 square feet. Most of the homes in Plainfield, you're looking, particularly in this neighborhood, under 1,500 square feet. So this is an opportunity where you get to own a 2,200 square foot home that's 4 bedroom, 2.5 baths. And to go even further with home ownership, you're looking at a down payment assistance program where the city was able to partner with the developers, and a part of the community benefit giving back to the community is that with each of these 7 homes, we're going to be able to offer $30,000 in down payment assistance. So home ownership is possible, and a lot of that is due to the leadership of Mayor Adrian O'Mac.
The director said that this is an undersized lot, so I have a question for the developer. Can you point out the boundaries of this lot? That fence, and where you all are standing, where this pole is that the boundary also where that pole is?
Yes.
And that back fence? I ask that because I don't see what is undersized about this lot. This is a very large lot that can build a really nice home. And so this is an opportunity for Gonsosa Construction and TD Plus Partners to really show what they can do. They can build a beautiful, beautiful home here that will be a signature in terms of what they have been doing in the city of Plainfield. Because this lot affords them the opportunity to do precisely that. And whoever becomes the eventual owner of this property, of the home that will be constructed here, will have a wonderful home. And so this is why we are doing the developments, because there's a need for home ownership. There's a need for people to have a place to call home. And not to mention the fact that across the state of New Jersey, there is a desperate need for more housing. Across the state, there's about 220,000 housing units that are short. And we have in so many municipalities, and as you may know, there are 564 municipalities in the state of New Jersey. Most of them have not complied with the legal requirement to build affordable housing in their communities. And most of those municipalities are in suburban cities, suburban towns. And for whatever reason, they don't want to build affordable housing. And although we have built and have more affordable housing than the state requires of us, we have not stopped at the fact that we've met and have exceeded for quite some time our affordable housing obligations. But we still know that there's a need for housing. And that is why we have partnered with Gonsosa Manufacturing and TD Plus Partners to work with us collaboratively and in cooperation with the governing body, so that we could make a significant dent in that shortage that exists. and so that in Plainfield we could put people into decent quality housing at a very reasonable and affordable cost. So that is what makes this program unique. And we're going to keep moving forward until we're able to put people in these homes. And we're going to look for every plot of land that is available that we could partner with developers to build homes that our residents can purchase. And so that's the commitment of my administration, and working in partnership with the many developers who have come to Plainfield and have invested because of the confidence that they have in the MAP administration and because of the ease of doing business in our city. We're going to continue to forge ahead and to establish additional partnerships so that our city as a whole can benefit. So thank you, and I now give you Charles McCray, Councilor for the 3rd Ward.
Well, we're here at another great spot with our developers, partners here. And we're in the 4th Ward. Across the street is the 3rd Ward. So when you make this side of the street look good, that side looks good too. So it takes an individual with an imagination to be able to dream what can be built here. Because anybody riding by would just look at this and say, that's just a piece of land. But individuals like the administration and mayor who has a vision can see what beautiful things can rise in this environment here. So I am happy to be a part of the governing body who supports that dream and vision.
Okay, here's a Gandhi quote. It goes, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. And again, I have to go back to... I'm sorry.
Speak up, the battery's dead.
Oh, okay, all right.
Speak up.
Oh. All right. Yeah, so like I mentioned before, I lived in Plainfield, and I lived in Plainfield during a time when there was no redevelopment. We had escalating tax increases every year, really high crime, and I talked about Bob Nelson again. And the reason why I'm going back to Bob Nelson is because whenever development happens in a town, people usually choose the area that's considered closer to a better town. And Adrian Mapp, when he became mayor, he was very insistent that we had to focus development in the 4th Ward and close to the 3rd Ward of Plainfield. And so that was a charge. And in 2016, one of the first projects that we did was a ABC Supply building on a site that was abandoned for 30 years, and that's South 2nd Street. And we put up a 45,000 square foot warehouse that allowed us to remediate the site. And then we built 90 units of affordable housing that allowed individuals to move into them at the time at about $500 for a 1-bedroom. And I think our 2 bedrooms were probably around $1,200, and our 3 bedrooms were about $1,500. And that was a mandate that we received from the mayor, that he wanted to see more affordable housing. So we did that. And then not too far from here, we did South 2nd Street Youth Center, which is a state-of-the-art 25,000 square foot childcare center. These were all the initiatives that Mayor Mapp was insistent that we pursue. And now we get to West 4th Street, which was one of the worst streets in the city of Plainfield, at least when I lived here. And I'm really happy that Ricardo was insistent that we try to do as many houses as we can on this block, because he'd already started at 664. So we're doing 2 properties on this street. Most of the new housing construction Ricardo's done in Plainfield have occurred on this side of town. So we have 4 townhouses, right, on South 2nd Street. And then we have a few houses over on Rushmore, and a couple of houses, I think there's something on Grant, if I'm not mistaken. All in this area, so this is very critically important to us. Something that we didn't mention, Mayor, is the dog park. So there was a requirement that there be a dog park in Plainfield, a beautiful dog park. So we're going to be building a dog park at Spooner on South 2nd Street. So again, I just really want to applaud Mayor Mapp for his leadership, because without leadership you do not get here. It's great to have a vision, but you also need to be able to execute, and you've executed really well. For the groundbreaking, I want to call up Lionel to join me, because he was a friend of Bob Nelson, and if Bob Nelson was around, I would want him to be at this groundbreaking, because he cared so much about Power. Power was an organization Plainfield organized for West End revitalization, and they cared a lot about the 44 block area and the West End area, because you had probably about 50% of the houses were abandoned back then. Lionel, you knew Bob Nelson, so you're gonna have to step in and throw some dirt on his behalf. Thank you.
So many great things are happening. The microphone is dead, but we're gonna have a charge in the beginning. So definitely, Patrick's thanked a few people. We definitely want to thank our police department, making sure we're around, we're escorted today. DPW, I know you could only give us the shade of the house, but we still appreciate you. IT, we'll get the microphone, but definitely appreciate you. And media and communications for getting the word out. So, definitely. So joining us today, we're going to be joined by our business administrator, Abby Levinson, our chief of staff and director of IT, Jazz Clayton Hunt, and our director of solid waste and sewer, John Louise. And of course, the developer team, please invite, in addition to Lionel, anyone else that you would like. We have one more to go and we're in the sun. Come on.
3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Zenobia.
Thank you. I'm Zenobia Fields. I'm the Director of Economic Development for the City of Plainfield. Welcome to our wrap-up celebration of looking at home ownership and building wealth for Plainfield residents. This is our 7th groundbreaking for our home ownership program. We started looking at this with our development partners, TD Plus partners, specifically Patrick Turborg, Ricardo Sosa of Gon Sosa Construction. They came to us with a proposal looking at some of the city-owned lots. The city owns a number of lots around the area, but some of those lots, according to homes where we have our zoning ordinance and our bulk code requirements, they're undersized. So even though this is a significant size lot, in order to build a new home, it should be about 5,000 square feet. So we had to set out and look at a redevelopment opportunity for those lots. So looking at redevelopment, we were able to revise some of our land use codes, looking at the bulk requirements for building, and make it conducive to build not just small homes, but this home that we're on today, this is going to be over 2,200 square feet. This gives an opportunity not only for a 2,200 square feet home, you're going to have a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. In the front of the yard, there's going to be at least 20 feet for a front yard, 25 feet for a backyard, and you're also going to have a side yard, your private garage, private driveway. Looking at a home like this, where we look at the median price point in Plainfield, you're looking at the median price point for a home being $590,000. A home this size, that's 2,200 square feet, which is much larger than most of the homes that we're surrounded with right now. It would go in the market from anywhere from $750,000 to $800,000. By working in partnership with our developers, we wanted to offer a more affordable price. The more affordable price being between $500,000 and $650,000. And even that 500,000 is below the median value within Plainfield. We are going to be looking at this opportunity where we can have a lottery system, where this is designed for Plainfield residents. The lottery system is going to look at someone, whether you're looking at the various incomes, whether it's a husband and wife, a sibling, looking at a parent and a child. They have an income that's going to be around $150,000. That offers you an opportunity to purchase a home and start off with anywhere between $100,000 and $200,000 worth of equity. You're also going to be able to look at a tax abatement. The tax abatement is going to go out for 10 years. That way you know exactly what you're going to be paying in taxes. You'll have an idea of what you're going to be paying in insurance. And to help secure the home, the city also partnered with the developers. If you heard about, we have a community benefit. The community benefit, making sure that the administration is translating that back to residents. So residents are going to be able to qualify. Plainfield residents of at least 1 year are going to be able to qualify for a $30,000 down payment assistance fund. To own a home that is over 2,200 square feet, has a private driveway, has a private garage, and you're able to build on that equity and home ownership. This is a part of the vision of our mayor for the city, and as we were driving around, he was looking, well, what else can we do? Do you see this lot and this opportunity? So the mayor is ready for progress and to keep going. So please allow me to introduce the Honorable Adrian O'Mapp.
Hello again.
Hello there.
Good leaders stay ready. They're always looking for opportunities. They're always looking for what will be in the best interests of the people they serve. And that has been my mantra each and every day that I have served as mayor of the city of Plainfield. I have always wanted to make sure that we provide opportunities, whether it's jobs, whether it's home ownership, whether it's training in advanced manufacturing, in the trades, whatever it is. I believe that it is my obligation as mayor, as the chosen leader of the residents of this city for the last 11 plus years, to do everything in my power to create partnerships and to build relationships across the entire state. And so I have worked very hard forming relationships at the local, at the county, at the state, and at the federal level. And so that puts me in a position to be able to pick up a phone and reach out to one of our elected officials at any level of government and look to attract resources that will come into our city that will be used for the benefit of the people who have elected us to serve. And so this affordable home ownership development that we have embarked on, and this is the 5th groundbreaking today. We did 2 yesterday. And this is so incredible that we are able to do what we do. But we don't do it by ourselves. We do it in partnership. And we need a supportive governing body, also known as the City Council, to work in partnership with us in order to get legislation at the local level passed so that we could have the renaissance that we have been enjoying in the city for the last several years, so that we could enjoy the benefits of the partnerships that we enjoy with our developers. And when legislation comes before the governing body, it is important that we have members of the governing body that will support those pieces of legislation so that we can do projects like this one. And if you have a council that is not willing to work with the administration, everything stagnates, everything stops, and we would have the reputation that we have worked so hard over the last 3 terms to fix. And it was broken in Plainfield, broken to the point where our developers did not want to come here because of the reputation that we had earned of being too difficult a place to do business. And that is why when I became mayor, we changed processes. We created a TRC, Technical Review Committee, because no longer could we afford to have developers appearing 3, 4, 5, 6 times before our planning board, zoning board, at great expense, having to pay their professionals. And that was costly. And so developers were going elsewhere, but they were not coming to Plainfield. And so the vision of transformation that I came into office with led us to where we are today. Led us to a Patrick Turbor of TV Plus Partners. Led us to a Ricardo Sosa of Gonsosa Construction. And so many other development partners that have the faith and the confidence that they were able to build and the trust with the administration over the last several years. Because without that trust, without that faith in knowing that they will get the cooperation from the administration and the governing body, they will not be spending or investing their money in a place where they would not be assured of a return on their investments. Developers don't do projects out of the kindness of their hearts. They invest. And whenever you invest, you must see a return on your investment. And those investments make sense because it allows our residents to benefit from those investments. And that is why building these single-family homes, these townhomes, these 2-family homes, that's why it's so important, because it gives everyone the opportunity to be entered into a drawing. They're not going to be able to get one of these homes by winking a nod. Everyone will be treated equally and fairly. There will be a lottery, and that will determine who gets to purchase one of these homes. And as was mentioned by Director Fields, we have sweetened the pot to make it easier, to make it more affordable by providing that seed money for the prospective owners, providing that grant of $30,000, which is what it is, because you don't have to repay that. And I know there are a couple members on the governing body who have a tendency to vote negatively against redevelopment projects. They have a tendency to say they want home ownership because there are too many apartments. And when we bring forward these development projects that will provide home ownership, then they still vote no. So you've got to, at some point, vote in the interest of the people that have elected you to serve. And how on earth anyone could vote against giving the opportunity to bona fide Plainfield residents to own a home? People who want to move on from an apartment and become homeowners, realizing a part of the American dream. So that is why electing the right people matters. That is why a governing body that will work with the administration matters. Because without that partnership, nothing happens. But I appreciate PD Partners Plus, and Sosa Construction, I appreciate you guys because you have faith and confidence in the administration. And you know that the governing body, as it is comprised today, the fact that a majority of the governing body members believe in the vision of my administration. And that majority will work with you to allow the progress to continue. And so it is not by chance that I stand here. It is because I put forward a vision of transformation to the residents of Plainfield several years ago. And it's because I was able to lay out that vision, to articulate that vision. I didn't say that I wanted to be mayor because the other person already had 2 terms. That's not a platform, that's not a vision. A vision is about having a plan, having something that you can focus on that will get you from point A to point B. There's got to be a beginning and an end, a destination. And so that's really what it's all about. It has to be about inviting people here as a result of those people feeling safe and comfortable coming into the city and being a part of the Renaissance. It has to be about how we transform neighborhoods. It has to be about the recreational experiences that are going to be provided for the very people that are going to own these homes. It has to be about so much that you just can't wake up one morning and say, I want to be the mayor because I want the other guy out. It takes more than that. And it takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes relationships. It takes partnerships. And it takes an administration where cabinet members understand the work that needs to be done and how to get it done. Cabinet members who will go the extra mile to make sure that we deliver each and every day the services that our residents need. And that is why we do this. That is why we were elected, to serve and to meet the needs of the people that live in our city. So these are some exciting times, partly because we are providing opportunities for our residents to own their homes. We are providing opportunities for generational wealth so that families can pass it down from one generation to the next. And it is so exciting that we are at this point and that we, in the last 24 hours, have broken ground on 7 new developments that will rise up here in different wards of our city. So I thank our redevelopment partners. I thank Director Fields and her entire team. I thank Business Administrator Abby Levinson. I thank Solid Waste and Sewer Director John Louise. I thank Chief of Staff, Director of IT and Communication, Jazz Clayton Hunt. I thank you and your teams for the work that you do every day to make sure that we provide a level of service to our residents that's second to none. And we will continue to do that as we move forward. And to all of you, I thank you for your support, especially our redevelopment partners, because without you, it just wouldn't get done. So thank you. May God bless each and every one of you. And let's keep Plainfield moving forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon one more time.
Good afternoon, Councilman.
Good afternoon. You know me, I like noise.
Good afternoon, Councilman.
On behalf of Council President Steve Hockaday and the entire City Council, I am proud to be here at this moment in time. You heard the mayor talk about the cooperation between the governing body and the administration, but with that cooperation comes some hard decisions and questions from the governing body to the administration to make sure that what we're doing here is in the best interest of the people who elected us to serve them. So when you see these groundbreakings and redevelopment plans, they just don't come out of thin air. They come with a lot of thought, discussions, and a lot of midnight oil burning. Because we as a governing body make sure that what we're planning here will last and will be of a great benefit to those who elected us to serve you. So I am proud that we are working with the mayor, administration, to build projects like these, which are home ownership, which serves our people. We work for people from all wards, and we represent the least of us to the most of us. So with that, I just want to say I represent all the people, the council represents all the people, and we are glad that we are able to work with the developer, the mayor, the administration to bring about great transformation here in Plainfield. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be part of this project and its development, to be able to provide luxury living and one-family, two-family homes in the city of Plainfield. I want to give thanks to the city of Plainfield, the mayor, the council members. It's a great partnership through the great leadership of Major Mapp. Me as a minority developer, to be able to make an impact, to be able to make affordable living for minorities in the area. It's a blessing. So I'm just looking forward to getting this project to the finish line. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So I'm going to start by thanking our team, the Gonsosa team and TD Plus partner, Damaris, Annette, everybody at Gonsosa, especially the unsung heroes, the guys who work in the fields on these different housing projects that nobody ever see. So I just want to thank you. And I want to thank Tara and Conrad, who worked tirelessly as well on moving us through the process. We're here because, quite frankly, because of Mayor Mapp, right? And the reason why I say that is because you can't really do development in a city that hasn't created a conducive business environment for you to actually pursue redevelopment opportunities. I lived in Plainfield until about 2013. I was here when we had 50% of the buildings in the West Ward that were abandoned or dilapidated. It was very unsafe, a really unsafe time. I worked for a while with an organization, Power, Plainfield Organized West End Redevelopment. And they were very interested in trying to address the issues that were in their community, which was this 44 block area. And it's great to see that today there are very few, if any, abandoned homes or boarded up homes. And that's from leadership. Plainfield, as you know, had a major exodus of people, and the decline started in the mid 50s, early 60s. And during that time, you had at least 4 or 5 administrations. I think there's Lattimore, there's Rick Taylor, there's Mark Fury, Mitchell, Al McWilliams, Shara Robinson Breaks. Yes, I actually love Plainfield, so I know that. And Adrian Mapp was a council member. I was that crazy person that did show up at city council meetings, and I wanted to see Plainfield change because I always thought it was a diamond in the rough. So I was a little bit of a nuisance. And then Adrian Mapp became mayor. And why Adrian Mapp? Well, there are many politicians. There are so many politicians throughout the state of New Jersey, but there are very few leaders. And leadership is actually how you get something done. So if we go back and we look for a period of almost 60 years, we're just in a decline. And there's always been great people living here in the city of Plainfield. And I've always felt that the issue was never the people who live here, including the people who live in affordable housing. Quite often it was the people who actually owned those homes that were renting to people, or you had the homeowners that had to endure high crime, or had to endure the fact that banks were not willing to extend loans to the same extent that they would in other communities. But all of that has a lot of history in what the economic environment of a city looks like. So when you have great leadership like a MAP administration comes in, and then you actually get your bond rating improved, right? Then suddenly people could actually start thinking about making the right investments in the city. And we couldn't make investments here beginning as far back as 2015, 2016 without the first question being asked, which is, how do you feel about the leadership of Plainfield? Because it's always been such a hard place to do business. How do you know you're actually going to be able to get through the planning board process, which used to take 4 or 5 meetings, and then at the 5th meeting you would be declined and nothing happened? So a lot of this wasn't for a lack of developers trying to do something. It was really that we didn't have the leadership that we needed. And when Adrian became mayor, he's the kind of guy that's not, I don't think he's really cuddly, to be honest. He's the kind of person that is a true administrator, a true finance professional. I know he cares deeply because we do share something in common. We're both people who did not grow up rich. I think we both have a history of growing up fairly poor by economic standards. I think the same is true for Ricardo to some extent. But we all believed that there could be a better way, and we kept connected to the fact that if we had this desire to be someone, then anyone around us also had that desire to be somebody. So the issue wasn't that we as black and brown people did not care about our cities. We needed resources, and we had to become that resource. So I know that in your heart, Mayor, that you've always cared deeply about everyone in the city of Plainfield. I can't make you more cuddly. You are somebody, maybe because you spend so much time thinking about the solution, that you come across as really serious, right? But that seriousness and that competency is why we're here. And I look out today at this area that Ricardo and I were commenting on how crazy it was back in the day, but there always was real people here, living here. And I also see some new residents, Michael and Sarah, that I just met. They live on Prescott, and it's good to see them here. And it's good to see that Adrian Mapp had a strategy that was a 4-ward strategy. It wasn't, well, we're going to do the obvious. We're going to have a green zone in Plainfield, and we're going to develop in what is considered the safest part of the city, which is somewhere over at, what was that area called again? Plainwood, right? Which was a combination of Scotch Plains, Fanwood, and that's South Avenue, and that's all we're going to do. The first major development that happened in this city was in the 4th Ward. It was on South 2nd Street. And we took a site that was 30 years abandoned, and we did the ABC Supply building. And I'm going to tell you, that took a lot of effort from the mayor and a lot of political capital, because there was a 5-2 council against him. And they were resistant. And to their credit, they actually came around, because those people, although they were in opposition, believed that you had to put aside your differences for something good to happen. And that good resulted in a 90-unit apartment building that today anyone who is asked to choose the apartment building complex in Plainfield from among the new market rate developments will never choose that building, because it was built to market rate standards. And yes, we did that. And we built it with dignity and respect for those who were going to live there, just like Ricardo's built houses started in the 4th Ward, right? These are buildings that are of the caliber of something that would be in Hoboken, and it would be like $2 million. And he didn't skimp on it. There's a property at 664 West 4th Street that has a glass front driveway door, right? And it's still there after years, which tells you that people actually do care, right? So we didn't try to bring down the quality if we're doing housing, or bring down the quality if we're doing affordable housing. And part of that too is that the mayor wouldn't stand for it. So at the station of Grant, we have 90 units. He sat there. He wanted to know how it's going to look, what the composition of it would be. And he was insistent. You guys are going to put central air conditioning here, right? And I'm like, yeah, of course. He's like, no. I just want to make sure that you have it. That it's going to have central air conditioning. I want this to be a project that has granite countertops, laminated hardwood floors, washer and dryers in the units. And all those things are there. And then he actually personally went to the state of New Jersey and advocated on our behalf so we can actually receive the funding to then build 90 units of affordable housing that literally took people who, some of them are people who work for the city, many of them have college degrees, because when we talk about affordable housing, there's this belief that everybody who is in affordable housing is dirt poor. But even if they are, they should be expectant of your respect. It doesn't matter how much money somebody has. And so because of his effort, because of the administration, because of the planning process that made it easier, you now have people living in a building that started out paying about $425 for a one-bedroom unit, right? In a Class A market rate building that we spent $32 million building. And those people live there. The building is still beautiful. It's still well maintained, because of course they were always good people. They just needed a better place to live. So I commend Adrian Mapp for caring, not just caring about the easier part, right? And the easier thing to do is develop in Plainwood, which I refuse to ever develop over there. And all the development we've done in Plainfield, including Ricardo, has primarily, like 99% of it, has been on this side of town. So we did South 2nd Street Youth Center. That used to be in a building right up the street. We did ABC Supply Building, the 90-unit apartment building. We've done the 45,000 square foot school for children with acute disabilities, because again, he cared. First children stopped by, saw him, and said, most of the children in our school are from Plainfield, and they would like to be in Plainfield in a Class A school. And he was very instrumental in us being able to talk to Cornelia Academy, making that possible, talk to NJCC on our behalf and Sinair in order to make the tax credits possible to make that building a reality. So Mayor Mapp, I'm going to be real. We're primarily here because of you, because of your leadership. And I say that, and some people will say, well, why does one man matter? Well, you know what? Throughout history, quite often, it's always been one woman or one man who's actually started a movement or made a difference, right? We look at Mother Teresa, we look at Martin Luther King, we look at Gandhi, who started a whole movement because somebody told him that he had to get out of first class, right? And that's been our history, right? History has been defined by a few great leaders. You happen to have a great leader in Adrian Mapp in Plainfield. If you take it for granted, you take it for granted at your peril. Because they don't just come along every day. There are many politicians, Ricardo and I know many of them. There are many places where we've tried to do the very same thing that we're doing here. And we've been talking about it for years. Because we are gluttonous for punishment to some extent, right? But there are very, very few leaders. And Adrian Mapp is a leader. Everybody could try to call himself a leader, but there is a unique difference between a politician and a leader. So I don't even call Adrian Mapp a politician, because you need to be a lot more cuddly to be a politician. But a leader is someone who looks at issues affecting the community and say, I'm going to address the racial wealth gap in the city that I am in. And I'm going to try to do my part to move New Jersey from a place where a white family has a net worth of $662,000, and a black family has a net worth of $20,000, right? And what is the reason for that? Most of it is we have no generational wealth. We were denied jobs a long time ago, right? And you wanted to address that. And you've addressed that not just with this project, but by doing the very thing that was required, the hard work. How do you reduce crime? How do you pave most of the streets? How do you make it possible for a homeowner in Plainfield to see an appreciation in home values, right? Where when you took office, I'm going to guess the median household price was probably somewhere around $160,000. We're at $590,000. And it makes me feel very, very proud to know that many of my friends who lived here, when I lived here during those dark times, have benefited from that appreciation in value. And that, my friend, is absolutely commendable. When you have a situation where you haven't had a tax increase for the most part for 11 years, that is unheard of. That's all leadership. And then today we have these homes that I'm very proud that we're actually going to be able to build them, sell them at about 500,000 plus. That really, if it wasn't for the city participation, we would be at 750. And so that person gets to start with equity. And if you took that equity, if you had the opportunity to take that equity, which most people are not going to have the opportunity to take the equity, most people are just going to be very happy that they could benefit from not having to come out of pocket $30,000 to put down on a home. And my hope is that they take that $30,000 and invest it. And they're buying a new home that doesn't require any real maintenance for many, many years. So, Mayor Mab, thanks for your leadership. To all of Plainfield, I love you guys. My heart belongs in this city. So thank you very much. And I want to ask a favor of Michael and Sarah. When we're doing the groundbreaking, I would like you to join us because this is your block and we're on your block. Thank you.
All right, well, Patrick, we've had the mayor, they've thanked everyone. Just want to make sure that we also send a thank you out to the police department. They followed us everywhere for the 7 sites, so we truly appreciate it. You've done a great effort for us. Also, IT, lugging this around, taking this apart, we definitely appreciate you. Communications and media, you know, we tried to throw dirt on Earl a couple of times, so we definitely appreciate it. Josh, you're always there. We also have Leandra and Andrea to help get the word out from communications and media. Then I also want to thank economic development. So the economic development, they are always up before I am scouting out all these sites, so I couldn't thank them enough for this effort. They didn't say I was crazy when I said, no, we're going to do 7 of these in 2 days. So definitely Maximo Vasquez in the back, economic development manager. Jeanette Aparicio, our urban enterprise zone coordinator. Also, Keena Ruiz, making sure that we're always taking care of in economic development. And there's a number of folks. Drew Dolman, also in economic development. So, we get to celebrate the final well, I shouldn't say the final. There's more yet to come because, again, as the mayor's driving by, he was like, well, what about that lot? Do we own that? What else can we do? So, there's more yet to come, but to celebrate this groundbreaking and home ownership, can I invite up our business administrator, Abby Levinson, our chief of staff and director of IT and communications, Jazz Clayton Hunt, and I believe, do we still have our director of solid waste and sewer, John Louise? And of course, because we get to celebrate our residents, maybe this is going to be your home, so please join us for the groundbreaking.